Okay, so Sean O'Malley has just sold the entire bag against Merab Dvalishvili. I watched it in the Xbox Live Party with my friends last night, and I want to crash out so bad. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. So instead of doing that, I'm gonna just make a YouTube video instead. And the theme of today's video is gonna be 10 fighters who made me eat my words. I did a lot of talking on Sean O'Malley this last weekend going into this fight, saying a bunch of things that he would do that he didn't. And this wouldn't be the first time, fellas, let me tell you. So we're going to get into a list of fighters who made me eat my words. The first fighter on the list is going to be Matt Frevola. Matt Frevola was Matt the Steamroller Frevola, okay? I was riding so high on this guy post Drew Dober knockout. This guy knocked out Drew Dober. So I was thinking, this dude is going to he's going to mow down Benoit Saint-Denis in his next fight. Knocks out Drew Dober, check left hook, first round. I'm like, wow, this ginger has insane power. I think he can do it. So he gets announced against Benoit, and I'm super high on freaking Matt Frevola still. This guy literally got sparked up in like a second, in 7 seconds by Terrence McKinney. 2 years prior to challenging Benoit Saint-Denis in a fight. I thought that Benoit Saint-Denis wouldn't have anything for that boy Matt Frevola and the power that he possesses on the feet. But little did I know that within a minute and 31 seconds of the fight, after cleanly outboxing him, he's going to land a head kick that knocks out Matt Frevola and leaves him in a pile as I'm telling my friend in the Xbox Live Party, okay, look out for Matt Frevola. He's about to do something cool. I think he's going to win this fight. I was so wrong. And I just felt so stupid because I was doing all this talking about this guy. And the second that he gets chinned, my friend starts crying, laughing, dude. Like, Matt Frevola, look at him now. Like, bro, he got headshot deaded by that head kick, dude. Benoit Saint-Denis not only had him on Chicken Street, he had him looking like Goofle Snoop. So, dude, Matt Frevola definitely let me down, bro. He let me down. And I honestly had to eat my words whenever he lost. And this takes me into my next pick, bro. After Matt Frevola got knocked out by Benoit Saint-Denis, all of the hype that Matt Frevola carried, for me, just went to Benoit Saint-Denis. So whenever he got announced against Poirier, I literally was like, dude, Benoit Saint-Denis is gonna win this fight, dude. Dustin Poirier is over the hill. Benoit Saint-Denis is gonna win. And I think this was after the Poirier or the Gaethje KO. It had to have been. This was probably his bounce back fight because he won this and then got the title shot. So this man gets a staph infection in the fight week leading up to freaking fighting DP. So I see that and I'm still coping and I'm like, okay, well, you know, he's not in the best health. But we'll see how it goes, you know. It can't end that poorly, right? This is Benoit Saint-Denis we're talking about, right? And he gets in there, and he gets glassed by Dustin Poirier. And it's horrible. It's horrible for my viewership as someone who really thought that that guy had a chance to win. He had zero chance to win, and I ate my words. Alright, so for the next pick, we're going to be moving down to a lower weight class. I'm going to say Chito Vera made me eat my words, dude. Tell me that this guy didn't look like a crazy finisher at the very beginning of his run up to the top of the division whenever he was fighting, like, you know, Davy Grant, even at times whenever he was fighting like Rob Font and stuff. But I'm talking about like whenever he had a full head of hair still. Chito Vera looked dangerous. He looked like he threw unorthodox kicks. He looked like he threw pretty freaking like hard punches, weird elbows coming from strange angles. Whenever he had knocked out Dominic Cruz, like, dude, he looked so good. He looked so good whenever he fought Dominic Cruz. He fought Davy Grant, like I just said, knocked out Frankie Edgar. He had beaten Sean O'Malley. It was kind of Mickey Mouse. But, like, dude, even, like, the lower guys, I've actually met the fighter Andre Ewell, too, and we all have seen that clip of Chito Vera doing that, standing head and arm choke, and then turning it into a takedown. I've seen, like, a bunch of stupid edits of that as well. Dude, Chito Vera was finishing a lot of his fights at the very beginning, and he looked super dangerous, but that was before people figured out that all you have to do is just use technical skill. Like, in moderation during your fight with him, and then he's pretty easy to dismantle. So he looked like a world beater. I'm gonna put Chito Vera on this list. We saw what happens whenever he fights Sean O'Malley, dude. It really pains me to say that name. Like, the reason why, I just feel like crashing out right now, bro. So I don't even want to show my face, bro. Like, I'm sorry. I was gonna do face cam today, but like, I'm too upset right now. So I'll be back for the predictions video soon of this next week's fight card. We went 3-7 this week, dude. Good God, that's horrible. But I'm gonna get back on track. We're gonna make some good picks this week, and then I'll be back on face cam for that. But today is a somber day, so I'm gonna hide myself from the world, and we're gonna talk about the fourth pick. And that's going to be Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold definitely let me down, bro. He let me down in 2 separate organizations. I was super upset at the fact that he didn't beat Paulo Costa. I mean, he didn't really lose to Paulo Costa from a fan perspective either. Honestly, that was a great fight. But I went back and watched all the old times where he challenged at 205 or, just fought like these huge power punchers and got really badly knocked out. Dude, even against Bisping as well. Like, how are you out here getting your chin spun around by Bisping? Like, if you're an elite fighter, you win that fight. And I really wanted to consider Luke Rockhold an elite fighter. I've met him in real life, dude. I know Luke Rockhold is watching this video. I used to work at the Hoka store on Venice Beach, bro. You came in with your friend and I sold him some shoes and you were there with him, bro. I remember it clear as day. This guy's like a rock star in Venice Beach. So I met this guy, right? And I asked him about freaking how things were going, or why he elected to fight Paulo Costa over other fighters in the 185 division. And he was like, I just smelled fear in him. And I was like, man, that was a really cool thing to say to me whenever I ask a question like that. And so he goes and fights Mike Perry. He goes and fights Mike Perry in BKFC. And I'm like, okay, well, 185 striker. Luke Rockhold does have some nice boxing, so freaking, he's bare knuckle boxing Mike Perry now. We'll see how this goes. He gets really badly beaten by Mike Perry. He gets his teeth punched out of his mouth in BKFC by Mike Perry. And I have to just watch that happen. And I'm like, man, this really sucks, dude. I thought you were so cool. I have your alter ego on UFC 5. And like, I always use your base game character too. It's not that good just because I rock with you, bro. And like, I'm really having to just watch this happen. It was like, that was literally like, I was going to make a joke about, like 2 really tall buildings and it being like that personally for me, but I don't think I'll go there. We're going to get into the next pick. Luke Rockhold is one of these fighters where it's like, okay, I got into the sport and I just randomly fuck with him. And this is another fighter who made me eat my words. Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira and Luke Rockhold both made me eat my words, bro. Like, nothing hits the same as... This list is basically full of these fighters, dude. Fighters who I got into the sport, started watching, and I saw the clips of them, and I'm like, okay, I'm a fan of this guy for whatever reason. I feel like we all have these fighters. If you're a fan of MMA, there's a guy who you literally just like because you just like him, and it's hard to explain why. And you're always going to be a fan and supporter of this fighter. So, Glover Teixeira was that guy for me. This old man with lots of miles on him and experience in the octagon, with great jiu-jitsu and wrestling. I loved watching him fight, because even though his style is grappling heavy, he did use boxing really effectively, and his grappling was super active, and he wasn't just like chilling in closed guards or like smashing in full guard. He was advancing positions and getting subs, because the dudes of the heavyweight classes aren't that good at jiu-jitsu or wrestling. So Glover Teixeira, dude. Glover Teixeira, he won the belt off of Jan Blachowicz, and I was super stoked about that. I don't think that I've ever been more happy for a title win, I think, than Glover Teixeira beating Jan Blachowicz for that belt, dude. That felt so good. That felt like the end of a Hallmark movie, watching him get that belt wrapped around his waist and be like, yeah, and I'm training with Alex Pereira, the best striker in the world, and that's why Glover Teixeira MMA, we're on the rise. And bro, like, dude, like, I was super happy to be there for that. And then literally the Yuri fight happened, and I still took Glover, dude. That's still my boy. I'm like, dude, he's gonna beat Yuri, but it's gonna be a bloodbath. And it was a bloodbath, but Yuri won, bro, and he broke Glover at the end of the fight. And it was really sad to watch, dude. Glover literally could have beat Yuri, but he shot for a takedown whenever he had him so rocked. They were both probably so gassed, but dude, whenever I saw that happen, me and my friend both had a freaking aneurysm. Because we both wanted Glover to win. And whenever he lost that fight, we ate our words. But we didn't really eat our words until he fought Jamahal. And whenever he fought Jamal Hill, dude, that was a really... Bro, me and my buddy were talking about the most one-sided like beatdowns that we've seen in the UFC. And Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira is right up there with one of the worst ones I've ever seen in my life, dude. In MMA, because all that Brazilian is just heart and chin and jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So the jiu-jitsu and wrestling was being mitigated from the fact that he was getting punched really hard in his face, and then all he had was just heart and chin. So he was just getting beat up for so much longer than I wanted to watch. And it made me eat my words whenever I thought that he would be able to expose Jamal Hill on the ground. Jamal Hill's salty ass got on the mic and was like, all the haters now. What happens? I beat up your boy in Brazil. What are they gonna say to me now? And I was just looking at Glover Teixeira be all sad on the ground because he's got beat up. And I was just like, man, I feel so incorrect right now. And it feels horrible because this man is suffering as a result of it. I wish I could have been right and saved you, Glover. I wish that the prophecy could have been fulfilled, but maybe in another life. Anyways, the next fighter is going to be Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier, right? Amazing, illustrious career, right? I wasn't really around for the John Jones fights, so I can only really watch them in replays, which I mean, it's still worthwhile in doing. Mainly the second one over the first one, but what I got as far as Daniel Cormier competing in the UFC was his fights against Stipe Miocic, dude. I saw the second and third one, I believe. Actually, no, I didn't see the second. Maybe I did. I don't think I watched Stipe Miocic get slumped out cold by Daniel Cormier. I'm not sure if that happened, like, and I saw it happen live. I mean, of course I've seen the clips, but like, in the third fight, he fought Stipe for his retirement, and he would just punch him in the stomach over and over again. Daniel Cormier looked honestly kind of goofle schnoop in this fight, and like, I didn't really rock with it, to be honest, because DC. His striking is interesting. DC, he does like a lot of hand fighting and clinch work to set up his boxing, just in general. And he was getting good wins over guys, fighting the same way that he fought Stipe in the third fight. But the thing about it is that he just has really good ability to adjust on the fly, Stipe, in his prime at least. So this was more like a Stipe showcase than it was a DC one. And I like Daniel Cormier, bro, because I think that he was still doing like the commentary. He was on some Paul Felder stuff, like fighting and commentating as well. So as an analyst, I did like Daniel Cormier, and I wanted to see him dub against Stipe Miocic, but that did not end up happening. And I thought that the clinch striking, I didn't know much about the sport, but I really just thought because Daniel Cormier had won once before that he'd win again. But it did not go like that. This would have been the rubber match too, so I thought just because he had knocked him out once and he had lost the rematch that, you know, he would like, it would just be 1-1 going into the third one, and that he'd win the 2 out of 3. He'd win the best of 3. But he did not win the trilogy, so he definitely made me eat my words, because he started crying and he retired and it was sad. So bro, literally, this video is just making me, feel some type of way, dude. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Recording this and just going through all the emotions of just feeling wrong and seeing these fighters messed up after losing is just, it's doing something to me, you guys. I can't lie. So I'm gonna go on to the next one. This is a fresh wound here. Alex Perez in flyweight. Dude, Alex Perez is like the pull-out merchant, right? So he never fights because he's always getting fights canceled, or he's pulling out of them, or his opponents are pulling out. He finally gets a fight scheduled against Mateus Nicolau. And He sleeps Mateus Nicolau, dude. And I'm an Alex Perez fanboy at this point. I'm like, dude, especially since we need new contenders at flyweight. Alex Perez has been around for a while and has lost title fights, but he hasn't fought for a long time, so it literally feels like he's a new fighter in the division where there are a little bit of new fighters, but they still need new talent. So I was super excited to see Alex Perez and what he was about to do at this lighter weight class. But knocks out Mateus Nicolau. I'm on my feet for that, getting lit in front of my TV. And then he fights Tatsuro Taira like a couple weeks later because he's trying to keep his momentum going. He's excited that he didn't take any damage and won so like victoriously. So he gets in there and fights Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro Taira, I made this joke before, he climbed him like a tree, bro. And he wizarded his knee with his like shin bone. And he blew his knee out. Cause he was like hanging off the side of him. Like he literally looked like, I'm not sure if anyone's watched Dragon Ball. He looked like Chaozu on Nappa's back, bro. And he blew out his leg. So, yeah, Alex Perez, he made me sad, dude. Because I thought that he was going to be around for a little bit longer. And he's probably going to be off of a really long layoff now with that injury, too. We saw how long it took Fiziev to come back from what looks like a similar injury. Tom Aspinall even had a crazy layoff hurting his knee. So we'll see what happens. I'm praying for a speedy recovery. If Alex Perez is watching this, dude, I'm still rocking with you. But you made me eat my words, bro. That he would win against Tatsuro Taira. You definitely made me eat my words. Alright, this is honestly like eating my words final boss. Like we still have like 3 more to go, but Wonderboy Thompson made me eat my words in the worst way. Cause I was watching all of those. This is the guy. Like we mentioned, just the random dudes who you just mess with whenever you're getting into the sport and you watch their fights and you're a fan for just no reason. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, especially since I was getting into like MMA while I was playing the UFC video games on my Xbox. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is so cold in the video game, and the prime that he went through at the beginning of his run in the UFC, whenever like Woodley was still champ and stuff, so amazing. The striking battles that he was having with people and winning were so insane, and his collection of like wheel kicks and drops. He doesn't have like many TKOs or knockouts, but he does have a lot of like just nice clips. So I was just looking at this clean striking when I was getting into the sport, and it inspired me, honestly. It's like this man is dancing, bro. It's like he's doing a dance. So one thing that I never anticipated was for him to just get wrestled. I knew that it was a threat, but I always coped and was like, nah, his wrestling is too good. And, he trains with Chris Weidman, and Weidman is a good wrestler. So, he's going to be able to stuff these takedowns. No problem. No problem, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is going to be able to stuff every takedown, and he's just going to put on a striking clinic on the feet. And I'm lying right now. Like, if you've been following this guy's career, I'm lying right now. This man was just getting wrestled, and he still just gets wrestled by everyone. And the difference now is that he got choked in his last fight, so he may just be getting subbed now, like, until he retires, like, with his frail bones. And that's going to be dangerous for him, because, like, he is an old man, too. So, Wonderboy Thompson, Jeff Neal, he beat. Kevin Holland, he beat. Vicente Luque, he beat. I'm not sure if there's any more in there, but dude, really bad losses to Shavkat, really bad losses to Bilal, really bad loss to Gilbert Burns, bro. And like the loss to Gilbert Burns is honestly like, if you were anything at all as far as like something to be taken seriously on the feet, you could have had an ample opportunity to knock out Gilbert Burns. And he was landing like wheel kicks on him and stuff, just nothing meaningful. So Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I'm not going to go as far as to say he let me down, but he definitely made me eat my words whenever I was saying that he was going to win the fights that he lost. So we're going to go on to the next one. This is going to be a shared position between two welterweights who both are... They both stink. And they were both good. All right, so the craziest part about both these fighters, Andre Fialho and Matthew Simmelsberger in welterweight is, dude, these guys, they showed up, and from the time that they started fighting in the UFC, they only got worse. I don't understand how they get worse at fighting from fighting more. It literally makes no sense. they're getting like sleepy KOs against these no names and journeymen, and then they get a dude with like a moderate unranked position, and they get completely exposed for being one-dimensional strikers who suck, dude, and are very easy to pick apart. Andre Fioho, I think he was like you're losing to Jake Matthews. Let's see. He's like skinny fat as well. He lost to Jake Matthews, dude. Like, that was the beginning of his downfall. He lost to Michel Pereira, but he fought Michel Pereira. So, like, I mean, dude, whatever. He loses to Jake Matthews. He loses to Muslim Salikov. He loses to Joaquin Buckley. Again, not that bad. He loses to the Dirty Bird 10 Means. And then he fights again outside of the UFC and loses all 5 of these fights consecutively by knockout. What? And before that, he was on like a pretty much a 6 knockout streak against just a bunch of cans in the UFC. So me and my boy would be like, and like he loved to stay active as well, so we'd see him a lot on these cards, and whenever he would fight, me and my boy would be like, oh man, it's an Andre Fioho fight week, dude. We're about to watch another brutal KO. And we did. You watch brutal KOs the whole time through this whole career, but like half of them are going to be him brutally KOing people, and the other half are going to be him being brutally KO'd himself. So that's crazy. Personally, I think that is insane. Matthew Simmelsberger, right? He was getting some like cool TKOs and decision wins where he was beating the crap out of these guys and dropping them all the time against literally the same, just a bunch of just cans, dude. A bunch of cans that just aren't good at fighting. So what ends up happening, dude, is he fights Chaos Williams and he loses a decision, which is like, okay, Chaos Williams is pretty solid. He has lots of power and very fast hands too, so I can see how he lost that fight. That's a good matchup though, at the time where I thought he was good. But then, dude, he loses to Alex Morono, and that's really bad. This dude lost to Alex Morono, who went life and death with Nico Price, dude. And that should have been the writing on the wall. He beats Jake Matthews though in his next fight by decision. And then 3 consecutive fights, Jeremiah Wells, Eros Medic, and Preston Parsons, loses all of those fights, and he got knocked out by Eros Medic. And like, I just wanted him to be good so bad. His fighter nickname is like Semi the Jedi, and he has like this Superman tattoo on his chest. And all these things that I thought were once cool about him, I now think are lame because he's losing. So hopefully both of these fighters can get it back on track. Andre Fialho, for the sake of his brain, I don't want this man to Junior Seau himself in like 15 years. But yeah, those are going to be my picks for that number 8 spot. They're both going to share that spot. They both deserve it. And then number 9 is going to be Rebelis Despain. Alright, so who else here thought that Rebelis Despain was going to run the heavyweight division for the next 5 years whenever he made his debut? And who did he even knock out? It was literally like, yeah, it was Parisian. It was Parisian. He made his debut against Parisian on an O'Malley card as well, dude, where O'Malley actually did win the fight. And Rebelis Despain looked like an amazing fighter. He threw a head kick and then ghosted back into the void and then threw a hook at Parisian, and he dropped him, and then he started getting a freaking TKO win, and he ended up securing it. He gets his next fight against Waldo Cortez Acosta, and Waldo Cortez Acosta is probably the most basic vanilla heavyweight, fat heavyweight that you can like conjure to your imagination. And he used like subpar wrestling skills to beat Rebelis Despain soundly, and Rebelis Despain had no answer for simple single leg entries or half guard. He couldn't do anything to escape these positions, and was just punching Waldo Cortez Acosta's rib cage from bottom half guard and bottom full guard and like bottom full mount, and not escaping or trying to get up or anything. So that guy definitely let me down, because Lord knows heavyweight needs new contenders, and that guy could have been what we needed. So he was still like, Dana Blanco, 50K, can I get 50 G's, Dana Blanco? No, you cannot have 50 G's, Rebelis Despain. Learn how to frickin' stuff a takedown or sprawl. And so this takes me into number 1. And who else could be at the top of this list? Except for Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley breaks my heart. Sean O'Malley really broke my heart last night, dude. The way that he just came out and did absolutely nothing. It was just because of the apprehensiveness of the striking, dude, but like, I said a bunch of things leading up to this fight that ended up just not being true. Sean O'Malley's submission game is not notable. He was playing a closed guard the whole time. Merab wasn't even being dangerous from the control positions that he was maintaining. His takedown defense, he was getting tripped and ankle picked in the middle of the octagon. I couldn't believe it, dude. I thought that his striking, again, like literally the best shot in the entire fight was probably like a jab that landed in round 2 that like snapped Merab's head back. But it was literally a jab, dude. There were no feints now. Like, he wasn't trying to get him to bite on the layered feints that I was talking about. I was talking about like how his striking is like fourth dimensional, with the fact that like, dude, I was glazing insanely. And honestly, I still want to, bro, but it doesn't make any sense now. Because now we'll never get fights like Ilia Topuria versus Sean O'Malley, because it doesn't have the belts attached to it, and it doesn't make any sense, dude. Unless he does just go up to featherweight and start winning at that weight class, which may be a reality for him at this point. Because, dude, who's beating Merab if not Umar? And who's beating Umar if Umar can beat Merab and he wins like the same way that Merab would win against someone else? I don't understand it, dude. It really just like, it hurts my feelings, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, this morning I woke up and I saw Merab with the belt wearing that stupid hat. And like, even though Sean is cringe, bro, I still wanted to see him as champ, dude, just for the potential of the great fights that could be produced. Like, I would have been happy with seeing Umar take the belt off of this guy, dude. I'm going to be probably even happier seeing Umar take the belt off of Merab, but I hate that we're in a position right now with bantamweight where I'm looking forward to the champion losing, and I can't just enjoy the current era of the champion because he's so boring, bro. Sean O'Malley wasn't boring, at least, even though he had a boring fight last night, but if he did do one thing, he made me eat my freaking words. So I went 3-7 on this last card. Sean O'Malley made me look like an absolute goofy boy. Alexa Grasso made me look like a goofy boy. The only one that I got right that like actually means something to me, the prediction, was Ribovic versus Zellhuber, bro. I got the boss call on that fight, dude. I knew that Ribovic was going to come through for the homies and win that fight. So I can feel somewhat vindicated over the fact that that happened, but mate, this was a rough one. UFC 306 was a clown fiesta. So I'm gonna get back in the lab and make a predictions video probably tomorrow for the card that's coming up. I'm not sure if we have a week off. I'll check. I might have lied if we do have a week off, but if there is a fighting card this weekend, I'm gonna make a predictions video on it. I'm just looking forward to 308 at this point. God help us, Merab is our champion. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Do all this stuff for the YouTube algorithm. It helps the channel out a lot. I'm trying to grow it. And yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, like, dude, if I had like an eating disorder or something, I would just go like eat my problems right now or something. Like, I might just pick up like, you know, I don't know. I might pick up gambling like as a way to just drown out this sorrow. I'm just gonna go and put it all on red. I'm gonna get off, but I'll catch you guys. Have a nice one. Sean O'Malley, I don't even know what to say.